Shalom, want to start off source begin all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Mukar, Kodash, double honors, apostle, great Mosan, honors you brothers doing the work of the Mosan, truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's real name of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, Yahweh, his real name is Yahweh, the son's true name is Yahweh Shai, and when we pray Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, but meaning in, Ha meaning the, and Sham meaning names, Yahweh, the name of Yahweh Shai. Right, so this is on news on the XL bully, right? And basically, ultimately, I was thinking about this and actually how, according to our law, there's a way you deal with this situation, right? Because they're basically saying how they want to ban the dog and this, that, and the other, right? Which I don't know about you. It's a nice looking dog, man. It's a very nice looking dog, right? But yeah, they're talking about they want to ban the dog, but it's like no, it's down to the owner and the consequences of the owner, right? As as the example given in the scripture, right? In the scriptures, it's an ox, right? But if a man has a beast, right, and this beast, you know that his beast is dangerous. I mean, if you've seen people that go to like would you call it in Spain, I think it is. They like bullfighting. Is it bullfighting or where basically, they have the bull running around in the cage and the people try to run away. You don't want to get in the middle of that, right? Hundreds of kilograms of just pure muscle, man. Right? You don't want to get in the middle of that, right? So as such, right, there was laws in the precepts on how you would handle that. So just quickly on this, so it says more conjecture, right? Because basically what they're saying is they can't actually even ban this dog because it's not even a breed, right? Because they aren't actually a breed at all, right? According to one expert, right? And then they use this word here, pregnant. So immediately, like, what, killed 22 pregnant women, but it's not talking about a sheep, okay? But still that's how Esau does, right? It's those little things when those little things, those little additions, right? Because 22 sheep, that what do you call it? Produce a different response than 22 pregnant sheep, right? You see, and then they basically put a whole man dying, right? As the second thing mentioned. I've only just realized that now actually. So 22 pregnant sheep as the main, and then 37-year-old man dying as the second, right? Yeah, that's messed up, man. Right, Esau's the devil. Right, it says but it says, but one dog behaviorist told Sky it is not as simple as just adding the dog breed to the legislation because it's not actually a breed at all, right? Which I'll leave the link to the description box, right? But yeah, this is the thing as well. So Miss Connolly rather says she has also seen dogs of all breeds, shapes, and sizes in court, some of whom have caused terrible injuries, and that's it. Because ultimately it's the judgment of the Most High, right? And the Most High is going to start using these animals anyway, right, for his purpose. Okay, scriptures speak about how, for instance, the animals shall remove out of their place, right? So animals that used to be wild, gonna start coming into where people are, right? And then start attacking people. I'm trying to remember how it's phrased. I forget. I believe it's in the Apocrypha. No, it's not in the Apocrypha. I forget how it's phrased, but but that's it on that. Oh, and one more thing, the irony in that actually, when you look at it, you can actually apply for a wild animal license, so you can have wild cats, primates, wild dogs, etc. Right? This is the law. Exodus 21:28 says, if an ox gore a man or a woman, that they die, then the ox shall be surely stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be quit. Right? So this is a one-time thing. Right, the Lord just put the spirit on the ox, and the ox was like, "Yo, shit," it just wild out, right? Wild out, and it killed him, man. Right? He said, "Here, this wasn't a pattern. It's the first time that's happened." Right? The animal has to die. It has to die. It has to be put down. Right? But the owner shall be okay. Right, it says, but if the ox were wont to push with his horn in the time past, and it hath been testified to his owner, right? So in this case, what do you call it? The ox has a history, right, of being, violent, has been rough, right? And then, the owner has been told about it, right? And he hath not kept him in, right? What does this word here mean? Hedge about, right? Guard, generally protect, attend, brought, keep guard, observe, give heed, right? That is a Shema in the Hebrew, H8104, right? It says, but that he hath killed a man or a woman, so he didn't take the proper precautions, right? He knows his ox is a little bit violent, right? And he hasn't taken the proper precautions, right? He says that the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death, right? Now, if laws like these were still kept, guess what? People would be a lot more careful, right? They'd actually take time to take care of their animals, which, I know, certain Akim have animals, right? And when they're with their animals and they're out and about, they see other, these people in the world walking their dogs or whatever, and those other people don't know how to take care of their animals, man, right? Their animals are just, going, being crazy and shit like that, right? But that's another thing when, in this truth, you learn so much. You learn how to take care of your animals, right? You learn, you learn everything in this truth, man, right? It is Proverbs 12 and 10, right? It says, a righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel, right? So yeah, a righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, right? But yeah, like I was saying, man, you get these people, these crackers, walking around with dogs, can't, have no, control over the dog whatsoever, man, right? It says, if there be laid, back in Exodus 12 and 30, it says, if there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him, whether he have called a son or have called a daughter, according to this judgment shall it be done unto him. If the ox shall push a manservant or maidservant, he shall give unto the master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. Right. So once again, in the ancient world, man, yeah, it was in your interest as an owner to make sure that your animal was behaved, man. Once again, in this case, we're taking a look at an ox, right? Because once again, man, hey, you don't want to, when you see a wild bull, right? You see a wild bull, and that, just make sure I'm not mistaking my animals. Yeah, ox, bull, right? Not wild, but when you see a bull charging, you don't want to be in the middle. That's why bulls will have that, a ring on their nose, right? Because if you're ever in a situation with a bull, you best look for that ring on their nose and pull it, man. It's the only thing that's gonna stop them. Right? You don't want to be in that situation, man. Okay. But yeah, that's why there was a big onus on the owner to make sure that the animal was properly kept for, right? Jeremiah 15 and 2 says, so on the next thing though, right? Because we have to understand that the Lord is going to use, animals, right, to start judging people, right? Lord, and you can imagine, for instance, if you think about the one of the monkey that tore off the woman's face, right? They basically said the monkey just bugged out, tore her face, and returned back to normal. That's because the Lord is going to put the spirit, right, in these animals to do such things, right? It says Jeremiah 15, point at 1 is in 3, I'll start at 2. Right, so it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahweh, such as offer the death to the death, and such as offer the sword to the sword, and such as offer the famine to the famine. So the Lord is about bringing great death and destruction to this place. Okay, and such as offer the captivity to the captivity. Right, and I'll appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord Yahweh, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and to destroy. Right, just making sure that was, kalam in the Hebrew, right, for dog there, right? But that's it, right? The Lord is going to start using these animals to start, exacting revenge, right? And the recent examples that we're seeing that have been listed, right? This is the Most High doing this thing. Okay, and there's gonna be more and more of these, right? Because this is it. Because it's a dog with stigma. What happens when the Chihuahua starts killing people, man? Right? Hey, you talk about dogs. Look at was it French bulldogs, man? Right, French bulldogs. They are what's the word I'm looking for? They're not good dogs to keep, man. Those are very unhealthy dogs, right? If my information comes right, they're very unhealthy dogs, right? Let's see what we can get here. Yeah, these ones, man, they're very unhealthy, very very unhealthy dogs because of their size and all of that. Okay, but hey, it is what it is. It says Sirach 39:28, they be spirits that be created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Right? Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, right? And the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. So these are all of the things that are going to be used against the wicked, right? Teeth of wild beasts, once again, that's the topic right now, right? The Lord's going to use the teeth of these beasts, right, to start, exacting revenge, right? But there's a whole host of different things that the Lord has in his arsenal, all right, for judgment, right? Fire, hell, and famine, right? And all of these are spirits that the Most High has created, and these spirits, work for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And when they do their thing, right, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is made happy by it. Okay. So, like I said, that was pretty much it on that. Just wanted to highlight that actually, there's already laws, right? Not already, but there's laws, right? In the scriptures about animals, man, right? And once again, when if these laws were kept, people would be a lot more willing, right? Be a lot more, not even willing. People would take more care, man, right? Once again, there's just no repercussions, pretty much, to things in this, what do you call it, in Esau's world. So, people just do a madness, man. And yeah, let's be real, there are people that will, just have these dogs bred for dog fighting, man. Right, the dogs just living a life of hell, right? You see them all messed up, all bites on their face and stuff like that. That ain't right either, man. Okay, that's wicked. Okay. So once again, those always that was edifying. Till next time, say shalom.